Hello soulmates, welcome back to my channel. This is Sew with Pivot. So today we're going to be learning how to make this wide leg pleated palazzo trouser with this crop top that has an elastic and a ruffle at the shoulder, also with an elastic at the waistline. So you can see our layering model, you can see the two-piece on her, like it's actually even looking like a jumpsuit, and this is a two-piece. This style can be replicated for an adult using the same guideline. Okay, so just stay tuned as we watch. Now you can see, you can also change the style on the shoulder. You can see how she adjusted that ruffle on the shoulder. So you can see she's trying to show you the elastic on the waistline of the trouser and the waistline of the crop top. Like, this came out very beautiful. So let's get sewing. To make this, I actually made use of 3 yards of chiffon fabric for a girl of 9 to 10 years old. So the width of the fabric we are using is 10 inches. Mind you, it's on fold. While the length of the fabric we are using is 11.5 inches. So we're going to be cutting the back and the front together. Okay, now, so first of all, I'll mark out 1 inches for the elastic casing. As you can see from the thumbnail, the top has an elastic on the shoulder. It has an elastic and a ruffle. So we marked out 1 inch for the elastic. We'll be using a 1/2 inch elastic. So I think I should turn it so that you will see it. I think I love this view, so you can see it clearly from here. So this is the 1 inches I marked. So from that point, I will measure my top length. So this is an off shoulder, as you can see from the thumbnail. So I'm going to be using -4. This is a girl of 9 to 10 years. So if she's smaller, you can try to use -3, but I'm using -4. And her crop top length is 12 inches. So this is my 12 inches. Then I added 1 inch for elastic band on the waist. Then I added 1.5 inch, because I don't want it to jump after sewing. You understand? Since it's a free top, so I want it to have a little volume, a little room. So that is it. Next, we're going to go ahead to mark our armhole, and from that point I came down with 3.5 inches. So I want the armhole tight. Ordinarily I would have used like 2.5 or 3 inches, but I'm working with 3.5 inches. I don't want it tight. Now for the neckline, I'm going to be using my shoulder divided by 2, which is 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Then I'll subtract 1 inch. So what I marked here is 5.5. So that's what I'll be using for my neckline. Now I'll go ahead to measure my chest measurement. My chest measurement is 30. Divided by 4 is 7.5. So I went ahead to add 2 inches because, of course, this is a free dress. We'll be using elastic to gather it. So we have 9.5. And this 9.5 inches, I'm going to take it straight down. Like, I'm still going to measure the same 9.5 on my waistline. Then I'll connect it like this. Okay, this is it. So I'll also go ahead and connect the armhole to the neckline. So we'll just connect slanted line. So I just took this my neck measurement up, then we cut. Okay, now for the frills on the neck, for the other ruffles on the neck, I have 2 pieces of fabric and the length of each of them is 6 inches. While the width is about 50.5 inches. So I'll be joining it. If you have a long piece of fabric, you can decide to just cut about maybe 100 inches at once. So but I first of all cut my trouser. So this was what I had left. So this is 50.5 inches. The same thing with the second piece. So we're going to be joining it. We'll join it at the two edges. We'll just close up the two edges. You can see what I'm doing. So we go ahead and join the sides. We're going to be joining the two edges of this our frill. So the next thing we're going to be doing is to bring back our bodies, and then we finish up the armhole using a bias strip. So this is what we have after I must have finished it up with a bias strip. This is what it looks like. So I'll bring the second piece and then I will put it together and join it at the sides. So we'll just sew on 1 inch allowance. So this is it. After sewing on 1 inch allowance, I folded it into two to get my midpoint, both the front and the back. Then I brought my frills pieces also. I also notched the center of this piece. You can see me doing it. So after notching it, I'll open up my main bodies. I turned it to the front. So I'm going to match the midpoint that we notch. Place it like this, match it up, and then we sew. So I'm going to show you what it looks like after sewing. So this is it. So this is it. This is the frill. So we're going to sew it like this. I don't know if you have seen it. You sew it. So this is it. After sewing it, you can see it. We've already attached it to our neckline. You can see it. So the next thing now we're going to be doing is to fold in order to create our elastic casing. So remember we had 1 inch, right? So we fold in half and then fold in another half. That's 1 inch, and we're going to sew it all round. And this is what we have after sewing it. Sorry, the day was getting dark already, like night was already coming, so I had to be fast to finish up with this top. Okay, so this is what we have. I left about 1 inches. That's what we'll be passing our elastic from. Okay, so now I will get my elastic. We're using a 1/2 inch elastic, and for you to know the measurement you'll be using for this elastic, you measure your round shoulder. Her round shoulder was 33 inches. So you go ahead and subtract about 5 or 6 inches. I subtracted 5, and what I had was 28. So that's what we'll be passing through because we want it to be firm on her. Okay, so after sewing, so we're going to match it like this. Then we come over to the hem line and then we fold it by half and then half again. That will fold by half by 1 inch. Then we pass our elastic into it. Now for the waistline, her waistline was about 26 inches. So you subtract 5 or 6 inches. So I'm working with 20 inches. So this my elastic is 20 inches. So after folding that hemline, I will pass it there. Then you go ahead and weave here or you sew. That's the ruffles. And then this is what we have for the top. You can see the elastic. You can see. So this is. So now we head over to the cutting of the trouser. Now to the trouser cutting. Mind you, this is a wide leg pleated palazzo trouser. So what it means is that we're going to be dividing our hips by 4, Then we multiply our measurements by 3. Her hips measurement is 32, divided by 4 is 8 inches. So 8 times 3 will give us what? 24 inches. And that is what I measured here. Mind you, my fabric is on fold. So we are cutting the front part first of all. Now the length of this trouser, the length of her trouser is 33 inches. But we're going to be minusing 1 inches for band. That means we have 32 inches. Then I added 2 inches for my folding allowance. Mind you, I left half inches up for sewing allowance. Then for the crouch depth I'm using for her is 10 inches. I don't want it tight. Mind you, I know I'm still going to use band, so by the time we add band it will be like 11 inches, right? That's perfect. Then we'll go in here by 2 inches and also mark 2 inches up. So we'll just mark a straight line. You know, this trouser is not a fitted trouser. More so, she's a child, so she doesn't need her trouser fitted like an adult. So that's why I'm using 10 inches for the crouch depth. So next, I'm trying to take the fabric up. On this bottom part, we'll still go in by 2 inches. Going by 2 inches, then we'll just connect it straight up to the crouch depth line.
I got rhythm and blues and nothing to lose. I know my steps and my moves, and I got my things.
Now to get the back part, we're going to get a fabric that's like 2 inches wider than the front. You can see I marked out 2 inches. This fabric is on fold. So now I'll bring my front piece and then I'll place it on it. You can see what I'm doing from that 2 inches line. Please, you also not start from the beginning. You leave space up because we'll be needing about 1.5 inches on that upper part. So you can see my crouch line started from that 2 inches. Now on this upper side, I'm going to be measuring about 1.5 inches. You can decide to work with 1 inch since it's a child, but I think I'm okay with 1.5 inches. So I will mark it out here like this. And then I'm going to connect it in a slanted form to meet the waist line.
You need, I got what you need, what 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 you need, I got.
Okay, so now on the crouch line for the back, I'm going to be marking out extra 2 inches. So that was the essence of that 2 inches we left. So I'm just trying to make a mark. Then on the other side, I'll be adding 1 inch. You can decide to add 2 inches all over, but I think I'm okay with 1 inch. One inch. One inch. 1 inch all the way down.
That's right, come on, that's right, come on, that's right. If all you want is to tap your feet, then baby, I got what you need. Oh, your friends on the floor. Oh, tell them what you got. Take my hands, stop fighting. Oh, please don't get me wrong. I just wanna be dancing with you all night long. Take my hands, stop fighting. But please don't get me wrong. I just wanna be dancing with you all night long. Melodies and grooves and nothing to prove. And if you wanna make a move, we can go.
So we go ahead and cut.
That's right, come on, that's right, come on, that's right. If all you want is to tap your feet, then baby, I got what you need. Oh, your friends on the floor. Oh, tell them what you got.
So after cutting, we go ahead to join the crouch line. So these two back pieces, we sew it together, just this crouch line. Then we'll also bring our two front pieces and we'll sew the two front pieces also on the crouch line. And then this is what we have after sewing. So this is it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and be making our pleat. So this is the second one, this is the front piece. You can see it. We've joined the crouch line. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try to make our pleat. Mind you, after making your pleat, we still want it to have excess because it's an elastic waist. But if you don't want to use elastic on the waist, if you want to use a normal band, then you have to pleat exactly your waist measurement. So you can see me, I'm just making a random pleat with my hands because I still want it excess. So after forming the pleat, I'll just go ahead and sew. So this is what we have after forming my random pleats. You can see, so we'll go ahead and give it a press. So we'll just iron it straight down. And I also do the same for the back piece. You can see it. I've created my pleats, and this is what we have after giving it a press. You can see what it looks like. So now we're going to join the front and the back bodies, and then we're going to join it on the side. We're going to sew with 1 inch allowance on the sides, sew with 1 inch allowance. Then after sewing the sides, we'll come to the crouch line and also sew it together with 1 inch or ½ inch allowance, as the case may be. And then this is what we have after joining it. This is what we have. So next we want to work on the waistline. So now I'm going to measure the waistline. Mind you, this is on fold, so we're going to measure it. We want excess and want to cut at our band, and what we have here is what, 18 inches on fold. That's when you multiply it by 2, that means we'll be getting 36 inches. So that should be the length of our band. So I'll go ahead to add maybe 1 or 2 inches for allowance. So I added 1 inches for allowance. So I have this 36, then I have 37 inches here. Then on fold, we're going to have 1½ inches. Remember, our band was what, 1 inch, so we added ½ inch for sewing allowance. So we have 1½ inches on fold. So by the time you open it up like this, it will be like 3 inches. So we'll bring our band together like this, and then we sew the edge. Now for the elastic, her waist measurement is 28 inches, so I'll subtract 5 from it, so I'll be having 23 inches. So that was what I'll be cutting for my elastic, and mind you, this is a 1-inch elastic, a bit wider than what we use for the top. So I went ahead to join the sides of the elastic just like we did for the band. Then I'm going to fix it in like this, and then I'll just sew it. I'm going to sew it all round. Other ways of fixing a band and elastic, so but I just chose to do this one for this particular video, so subsequently I'll be doing other ones. So this is what we have after sewing the elastic into the band. So now we're going to bring our trouser block, and then I'll fix in the band this way, and then I'll sew it. So after sewing the waistline, I'll go ahead to finish up the hem. So you can decide to fold and then sew, you can decide to use a hemming, you can decide to weave, so whichever one you like. And this is the outcome of our wide leg pleated palazzo pants. So now we're going to try it on our model so that you see what it looks like. If you have watched up to this time, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Okay, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time.